This is macOS Ken.
Apple surprises with an iPad mini announcement. iPhone is crushing it all of a sudden. And Slow Horses trots to a 6th season. It is Wednesday, the 16th of October, 2024. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken. Brought to you by yours truly and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. The world of Apple Watchers was thrown into 6s and 7s by a press release on Tuesday. It was the press release announcing the 7th generation iPad mini. This one is built for Apple Intelligence, according to the Cupertino company, packing an M-nothing processor. Rather, this one sports an A17 Pro chip. According to the release, A17 Pro delivers a huge performance boost for even the most demanding tasks, with a faster CPU and GPU, a 2 times faster neural engine than the previous generation iPad mini, and support for Apple Intelligence. While much stays the same from the 6th gen to the 7th, there are a few notable changes. AppleInsider ran a very helpful compare and contrast chart between the two. Diving into that, there's the aforementioned A17 Pro versus the A15 Bionic. That's said by Apple to bring a 30% boost in CPU performance, a 25% jump in GPU performance, and hardware-accelerated ray tracing, which is 4 times faster than software-based ray tracing. There's more room to store. The new iPad mini has 3 storage capacities available, 128GB, 256, and 512. The previous generation only had 2, 64GB, and 256. In terms of connectivity, while the available 5G and LTE are the same, the new iPad sports Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3 versus the last generation's Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5. The rear camera features Smart HDR4 for photos versus Smart HDR3. The USB-C connector can handle 10 gigabits per second versus the Mini 6's 5 gigabits per second. And the new iPad mini can handle Apple Pencil Pro, or I don't know, maybe it's the other way around. If you'll pardon me opining, it almost sounds like Apple has done to the iPad line what it did to the iPhone 16 line. No, it's not as good as an iPad Pro, but people who want or need the smaller and or less expensive form factor aren't being boxed out of decent performance. And did I mention it's built for Apple Intelligence? Because Apple mentioned that a lot. As for the rest, battery life's the same, dimensions are the same, weight's the same, colors are the same with one substitution. Pink is out, blue is in, joining space gray, purple, and starlight. Starting prices are the same, $499 for the Wi-Fi model, $649 for the Wi-Fi plus cellular, again though with twice as much starting storage as before. Orders began yesterday, Tuesday the 15th of October. Deliveries and in-store availability hit 1 week from today, Wednesday the 23rd. So, you may wonder, what put watchers at 6s and 7s? Well, a lot of us, myself included, were expecting some sort of media event sometime soon. With the iPad mini press release, whether there will be a media event is now called into question. 9to5Mac says it suddenly looks unlikely. Yes, there are new Macs expected, and yes, Apple held a video event around Halloween last year to announce those computers, but they actually announced 2 big things at last year's Scary Fast event. New Macs, that is 1, powered by the new M3 processor, that's 2. They've already announced the M4 with the iPad Pro update earlier this year, so what would be the crux of a media event? The way 9to5Mac sees it, with the iPad mini and the trio of M4 Macs, MacBook Pro, Mac Mini, and iMac, an October event seemed likely. Something relatively short, probably with a focus on Apple Intelligence and what it enables on these platforms. But now that the iPad mini has been announced already, the prospects of an event are looking slim. In the site's estimation, an October event is probably not in the cards for this year, barring something unexpected from the Cupertino company. While interested parties ponder the fate of a fall media event from Apple, they're also keeping an eye on the next round of OS updates. You know, the ones built for Apple Intelligence. Again with 9to5Mac, which sees in the iPad mini press release a possible hint at a release date for iOS 18.1 and its ilk. They're thinking not next week, at least not before Wednesday. The site cites the iPad mini announcement, which says the first set of Apple Intelligence features will be available in US English this month through a free software update with iPadOS 18.1 and available for iPad with A17 Pro or M1 and later. By 9to5Mac's read, that means the soonest we could see iOS 18.1 and Apple Intelligence is the 24th of October. They're thinking Monday, the 28th of October, or soon after, though. According to the site, it makes no sense to launch the new Mini, then release a software update for it the next day. Apple doesn't usually ship software updates on Fridays either. That makes Monday, the 28th of October, the best candidate. With just 2 weeks left in the month, Apple Intelligence is due soon. Helping it make its way, a piece from Mac Rumors says there's a new developer beta for macOS Sequoia. It was kind of odd Monday when Apple seeded the 7th developer betas of iOS and iPadOS 18.1 without its traditional computer counterpart. Well, it was only a day late. On Tuesday, developers got access to the 7th beta of macOS 15.1. Apple Intelligence isn't iOS 18.1's only anticipated feature. Folks are also expecting the hearing test and hearing aids capability promised for iPhone and AirPods Pro 2, though I'm not sure that's confirmed for the next iOS update. Whatever the case, another piece from Mac Rumors says developers got beta firmware for the itty-bitty wearables on Tuesday. Yesterday, we heard JP Morgan analyst Samik Chatterjee say wait times for iPhone 16 did not shrink last week, so those shorter wait times from before, forget about it. Now Morgan Stanley analyst Eric Woodring is saying something similar. On Tuesday, Apple 3.0 ran part of a note written by Woodring. According to that, iPhone 16 lead times remain lower year to year but are stable week to week, which is encouraging and in line with recent cycles. The way he and his see it, better supply conditions are one of the contributing factors to why iPhone lead times are shorter this cycle than in recent cycles. Also, he and his have not seen any iPhone component order cuts from the supply chain for the current quarter. iPhone 16 December quarter builds remain unchanged at 76 million units, according to the firm. Morgan Stanley has an overweight rating on Apple shares. Woodring's price target on the shares is $273. Adding more support to iPhone strength, new numbers from market tracker Canalys. According to the firm, Apple achieved its highest third-quarter volume to date and has never been closer to leading the global smartphone market in a Q3 than right now. How close? Both Samsung and Apple accounted for 18% of smartphones shipped in the September quarter, according to Canalys. That said, apparent tie goes to Samsung for some reason. Most of Apple's third-quarter strength had little to do with iPhone 16, since iPhone 16 wasn't out for most of the quarter. Credit to iPhone 15 and previous models, according to the firm. Quoting Canalys again, the market's shift towards premium devices, intersected with an ongoing refresh cycle of devices bought during the pandemic, is benefiting Apple, particularly in its stronghold regions such as North America and Europe. Then we get to iPhone 16. Quoting Canalys one last time, Apple's improved product diversification has helped it lower lead times. Despite a modest initial reception, the iPhone 16 is expected to help Apple maintain a strong finish to 2024 and help momentum in the first half of 2025, particularly as Apple Intelligence expands into new markets and supports additional languages. News of two new offerings from Apple's subsidiary Beats. First, Mac Rumors ran a piece earlier this week about a pair of Beats Studio Pro headphones in an exclusive color combo at a not-so-exclusive retailer. Electronic seller Best Buy has the new Beats, which do not come in blue and yellow. Rather, the Best Buy exclusives come in black and gold. They're largely black, according to the report, but with something of a champagne or gold color inside the headband and all the way down to where the ear cups attach. Gold accents for the headband hinges and Beats' B button provide additional contrast. Otherwise, it's the usual pair of Beats Studio Pro at the usual price of $349.99. Well, that's the MSRP, though Mac Rumors says Best Buy is currently running a sale that's knocking $100 off the normal price. The other offering is another celebrity tie-up. A separate piece from Mac Rumors says the audio and lifestyle brand has teamed with Kim Kardashian for a third time on new colors for the Beats Pill speaker. Get ready to have your mind blown. The Beats x Kim Beats Pill come in light gray and dark gray. You know, some days I think there's no God. Then other days, I'm even more firmly convinced. They go on sale this Friday for the usual Beats Pill price of $149.99. They'll be available through Apple's site, at select Apple retail locations, and through various online resellers. And finally today, good news for fans of good television. The Apple TV Plus series Slow Horses has been picked up for a 6th season. The Cupertino streamer broke the news yesterday via press release, a little less than a week after the Season 4 finale. Once again, I will not be reading the details offered in the release. I think I accidentally glanced something I wish I hadn't. I seriously do not like spoilers. If you're a fan of the Mick Herron novels on which the show is based, the release says the 6-episode 6th season will actually adapt 2 of Herron's novels, Joe Country and Slough House. No word on when the 6th season will hit. Haven't even heard when the 5th season will hit, though you'll probably get 4 or 5 more seasons of Slow Horses before the next season of Foundation. So, there you go. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.